about what we've seen.
Listen, I tell my law students on the first day in class, if you're ever in a death penalty case, leave the Disney metaphors out of the courtroom. Are you kidding me? Come on, Jim.
Now,
you got to feel the same way.
I do. I'm fascinated by this. I'm just fascinated.
I'm rooting for him. Don't send me the hate mail.
Wait a minute. Beth, this is crazy. You and I have been covering a lot of trials together. I did not see this one coming.
Well, no, but he took a speech that she gives. She gives it various versions of it, shorter, longer versions, and she's been giving it for a while, and it's on YouTube, and it's titled, was Snow White a Battered Woman? She said it's a catchy title. That's not her point in the speech. I haven't listened to the hour-plus speech that I did pull up on YouTube, but she said she talks about the balance of power or imbalance of power in relationships. I don't know, maybe she says that as little girls we were taught that, you know, our Prince Charming will come along and take care of us someday. I'm not sure. I don't know what the speech is. But Juan Martinez is using it to say, wait a second, you know, you're going to find abuse in any situation. You're even calling Snow White an abused woman. I think that's what he's saying.
But Beth,
do you think, though, that the jurors are just, do you think the jurors are going, what is going on here?
I don't know the answer to that, but I do know that at this point, so late in the game here, although this is only the 10th witness for the defense, they know Juan Martinez's style. They've seen him cross-examine 9 of the prior defense witnesses. So he is probably not, you know, offending any of them. In fact, juror number 5, seated in the gallery, broke out in a big smile when Juan Martinez got up to begin his cross-examination.
Okay, and we've got a short block. I want to get to all of our guests. Joining us, attorney Lauren Lake, forensic psychologist Cheryl Errett, and attorney Lonnie Coombs. Lauren, what do you think of all of these Snow White references?
I cannot even believe he's going there. I find it to be so confusing. And as if we want to equate Jodi Arias with Snow White's someone we root for, that we love. I don't know where he's going with this, but the visual is off. I think it's confusing, and confusing lends itself to defense. And like Mark said, we're rooting for this guy, but he's got to reel it back in. He's too vicious with this particular witness, and his whole line of questioning, I think, is it's off. It's offbeat.
Lonnie, that's a great point. Really, we do root for Snow White, and if you're a prosecutor, you do not want the jurors to root for Jodi Arias, and that's what may be happening here, right?
Yeah, I have to tell you, my frustration with Juan Martinez today went through the roof with this cross-examination. This was a golden opportunity for him to take this defense witness and turn her into his own expert to support the prosecution case. He could have gone through all of the evidence that showed that Jodi was stalking, that she was possessive, and that this escalation of violence that she was talking about was what Jodi did when she killed Travis. It would have been extremely effective, but apparently Juan only knows one speed, and that is attack, attack, attack. And this is a likable witness, a knowledgeable witness, and he could have used her to so much benefit, and he didn't.
Absolutely.
Cheryl, you have the last minute.
Well, Jim, welcome, by the way, to Dr. Drew.
Thank you.
I don't know whether we were watching Sleepy, Dopey, or Grumpy when we're watching this thing tonight. I think I think Grumpy is what everybody turned into that dwarf. I think you're right. If he had been able to, just in an offhand comment, say, isn't it true that you even called Snow White a battered woman, and went on with it there and did what Lonnie Combs was talking about and laid out what Jodi was doing as a perpetrator, I think that would have been a lot more effective than going over and over this in such an overly detailed way.
Let me make the final point here. The big issue is that she relied upon lies to make her conclusion. That's the big picture. Don't get lost on the little